accepted, challenge accepted. The attitude is always challenge accepted. Challenge accepted, challenge accepted. The attitude is always challenge accepted.
Well, we just talked about the architecture, now let's talk about the architects.
Picture this. One fine morning, your boss strolls over and drops the bombshell. Guess what? Yesterday, you're a developer, yes, developer, but from today on, you're an architect. Architect, yes, they make respect.
Vladyslav is an accomplished software architect with 17 plus years of experience. At Sigma Software, he collaborates with stakeholders to define software requirements, leads teams, and is a sought-after conference speaker.
Because even software architects need their time in the spotlight.
Please welcome, make some noise for Vladyslav Plotnyk! Microphone accepted.
Great. Nice to see everybody. My name is Vladyslav Plotnyk, as you already heard. And I work as a software architect for company Sigma Software. We have offices in Bulgaria, Poland, Ukraine, and many other countries. Really big company. I have been with Sigma for last 8 years, and as you can see, I work in industry for 17 years in total. I have a background in web development, cloud computing, and information security. And today I would like to give you my story, how I became an architect. So my journey began 3 years ago. I was a team lead. I had a mentor who helped me to build a career, to make a transition to the software architect. So we met with him. It was an ordinary talk. And he made a suggestion. He said, Vladyslav, do you, maybe it's a good idea to try yourself in pre-sales, okay? Because it can give you a better understanding of architectural. So I followed him advice, and I joined pre-sales team, started to creating technical solutions for client proposals. Well, each proposal was a challenge by itself. It pushed me outside my comfort zone. Some proposals were rejected, yeah. Some have went through multiple revisions, but each one was a great learning experience. Soon, I was leading a project that was born out of one of the successful proposals. It was my vision that guided the project, and seeing it come to life was truly inspiring. It was a time of rapid growth professionally and personally. And the success of this first project opened up new opportunities. In total, with the team, we have submitted 12 proposals that year. And we won 4 of them. Soon after, I was promoted to software architect. Before we proceed, I have a question for you. Have you seen the movie Martian with Matt Damon? Please raise your hand if you have. Okay, I see hands, many hands, by the way. As you remember, his character, Mark Watney, was left stranded on Mars and had to figure out how to survive with limited resources and facing unpredictable challenges. And similarly, a software architect also faces many challenges, like resources, technologies, and business requirements. Just like Mark had to wear multiple hats to survive, a software architect also juggles many roles. An architect is a technical leader, a guide, and a visionary. There's a bridge between business and technical teams, responsible for designing solutions that align with business goals and technical constraints. They also decide on the right technologies and ensure that all parts of the project fit together seamlessly. However, their role is not just bounded to the initial stage of the project. They supervise the development process and ensure that the team follows architectural plan. Stepping into architect role comes with new responsibilities. And that's why I would like to share with you some crucial do's of an architect. The first one is understand business needs. Just like Mark had to comprehend Martian surface to survive, an architect must understand business environment to succeed. It means gaining deep insight in target market, product end users, and business goals. Business looks to you to provide solutions to their problem, not to slow down or obstruct their goals. I will give you an example. Imagine a small business company that wants to develop an e-commerce application. From technical perspective, developing a fully customized solution from scratch would look like a good idea. However, considering budgeting constraints and immediate needs of the business, it would be an overkill. It might lead to slower time to market and leaving business with competitive disadvantages. That's why a better idea would be to use an existing e-commerce platform, and customizing it is needed. It would solve the main business problem: get an online store quickly and within a budget. Second, be open to learn new technologies. When Mark realizes that he doesn't have enough food to survive until the rescue mission arrives, he doesn't give up. He decides to grow food on the planet where nothing grows. Luckily for him, he was a botanist, and he finds out a way how to grow potatoes on Mars. You might ask, was he going nuts? No, no nuts, just potatoes. Similarly, a world of software is evolving rapidly, and new tools and technologies are introduced constantly. And just like Mark, you need to be ready to adapt to these changes. I remember one client request that caught me off guard. A client wanted to develop serverless architecture for his web system in AWS. At that moment, I was primarily focused on developing traditional server-based applications, and my knowledge of AWS was quite limited. So I decided to explore documentation, and after some week of study and experiments, I created an architecture. It was based on AWS Lambda functions, and that solve different tasks. Once design was in place, the implementation was surprisingly smooth. Eventually, the decision to adopt serverless architecture was beneficial. Not only it satisfied client needs, it also extended my skill set. Develop your communication skills. Remember how Mark had to communicate with NASA scientists and explain his situation in simple terms? That's a role of an architect in a software project. architects need to explain complex matters in understandable manner. Our clients have very minimal technical background, and jumping straight into complex details with technical jargon would lose their attention. That's why I usually opt for analogies. Analogies are powerful tools to translate complex concepts into everyday language. For example, if we take microservice architecture, and to explain it to somebody in business, I can make an analogy with, for example, it could be a city where everybody relies on public transportation and avoid using their own cars. It means no worries about parking, fuel, maintenance, just hop on a ride whenever you need a bus. Of course, there is a drawback. Sometimes you need to wait for a bus. The fourth do is to have broad technical knowledge. Surviving on Mars required from Mark not only botany skills. He had to have knowledge in engineering, chemistry, physics to endure hostile environment. Similarly, software architect isn't just a programmer. He needs to understand database design, security issues, DevOps practices. So focus on building various technical fields. And you don't need to be a master of every field, because there are experts within your company who can provide you help, database administrators, security experts, and DevOps engineers. However, you need to be ready to make a correct judgment call, to sometimes override these experts, because in the end, you are responsible for big picture. Last but not least is mentorship. Throughout his journey, Mark relies on the knowledge of his colleagues and mentors. And as an aspiring architect, I recommend you to seek for experienced professionals in your area that can offer you guidance, because they can provide valuable insights, help you avoid common pitfalls, and accelerate your career progression. I remember when I was a team lead, I was primarily focused on two things. First is efficient code, and second, on-time deliveries. My mentor introduced me to the importance of information security. Under his guidance, I began to understand the value of secure coding practices and vulnerability assessments. It became a foundation for my professional growth, helped to make a lot better software. I think you would agree with me that just knowing how to do something right isn't enough. We all make mistakes, and I made them as well. That's why I would like to warn you about some pitfalls that you should avoid. First, remember Key's principle. Keep it simple, stupid. Overly complex designs can lead to unnecessary confusion, hard maintenance, and steeper learning curve. Just like Mark, he not only designed effective solutions, but also straightforward enough to implement them alone on a hostile planet. Overcomplicating things would only increase chances of failure. This applies to software architecture as well. So strive for simplicity and clarity. I recommend you don't neglect soft skills. I believe this is the main anticipation of everybody from architect role. It's a client-facing role, yeah? You need to talk a lot with different clients and business representatives. And a stereotype of a solitary coder in a dark room is outdated. In collaborative work environments, your ability to communicate effectively, work within a team, and empathize with others is crucial. Just like Mark had to communicate with NASA, explain his plans, and convince of his strategies, an architect needs similar skills to work with team members and clients. You need to be effective in building trust and good relationships with people. Because in the end, if you can't connect with someone, you wouldn't be able to sell your idea. Doesn't matter how big it is. Third one is to avoid over-specializing in one technology. I was a .NET developer for a long time, but I wouldn't name myself a .NET architect. Having areas of expertise is good, but focusing only on one technology or platform is limiting yourself. During my career, I had worked with different technologies, such as I mentioned, .NET, Node.js, Python, and many more. And each of these technologies provide its own unique strengths. For example, .NET provides a robust framework for building scalable enterprise systems. Node.js is really good for fast real-time applications. And Python, with its simplicity and vast library support, became my #1 choice for web development. This experience in different technologies really helpful when I prepare for a new project or creating a new proposal. Because the key to success is to match technology strengths with project needs. The fourth pitfall to avoid is become isolated from coding. Even as an architect, you need to keep your coding skills sharp. Because coding keeps you grounded in the reality of software development and helps you make better architectural decisions. It's like Mark's experience on Mars. He didn't theorize solutions, he implemented them. On a typical day of work, I try to delve into different areas of the project, such as back-end or front-end. Sometimes I discuss some things with DevOps. It helps me to get a first point of view on what's going on behind the scenes and keep strong connection with the development team. Also, I usually create prototypes of solutions that I propose. Prototyping gives me options to play with different designs and choose what works best. And don't forget about continuous improvement. Mark survived not just because he was an excellent botanist, but because he has a wide range of skills. Just like Mark, constantly reassessing his strategies and learning from his experience, you also need to find a way to constantly improve your skills and knowledge. What do I mean by this? For example, I usually start my day, not every day, to be honest, but I try to be constant here, by reading tech blogs, just to keep up with latest trends. For instance, a few months back, I stumbled upon an article that explains the advantages of OpenTelemetry for performance testing. We have a project that is coming before release, And for me, it was very interesting to use this tool for performance testing and load testing of our system. So I spent some time setting it up, connecting with test environment, and running a series of tests. And the result was, it was quite good, I would say even outstanding, because unlike the traditional performance testing tools, like JMeter, for example, the trace test gives me a comprehensive view what happens behind the API. So I could see how call goes deep into the different services and how services interact with each other, pinpointing bottlenecks at granular level. So eventually it gave our team a really good overview of the system performance. And right now we're already fixing some of them. I have another question to the audience. I expect that here are present both seasoned architects and experienced developers who considering this career path. So I would like to know who have been working as an architect. Can you raise your hand? Great, I see one hand and, okay, yeah, I have, we can have architects in the audience today. And now, please raise your hand if you would like to step into architect's shoes. Oh, I see numerous hands. It's inspiring. For those who just starting out, I would like to present a typical career path to the architect role. It often begins with a developer role. Yeah, we all started there, and we had to learn how to write efficient code, work within a team, understand the basics of the software development. It's like Mark's early days as an astronaut, learning the ropes and mastering the basics. As you gain experience, you move into the senior or lead developer role. And here, you're not only coding, you're making design decisions and leading teams. With enough experience and right skill set, you can step into architect role. And here, your focus changed toward designing systems and making strategic decisions. An architect requires many different roles, skills to succeed in his career. From hard skill side, I would say it's deep understanding of software development. You need to have knowledge of various coding languages and architectural patterns. You also need to know different types of software system and be able to choose one based on the requirements. And of course, you need to be proficient at designing software architecture, which means creating diagrams, documenting the design, and explaining it to others, yeah, to teammates, to clients. From soft skill side, as we already mentioned, communication is vital. You also need leadership skills to guide the development team and decision-making skills to make right choices in a dynamic environment. And also problem-solving skills to anticipate and address challenges that come up during the project. There are plenty of resources available for your learning. For more structured learning, I would recommend to use online platforms such as Coursera, Pluralsight, Udemy, Educative, books like Design Software Architecture in Practice by Lynn Bess and Designing Software Architectures by Rick Kazman are excellent reads. For you, I have prepared a list of resources that I think is valuable, and they're available on my GitHub. Please go by the link. Don't worry, link will appear on last slide as well, so if you don't miss it. Certifications. they also can help you progress in your career. They validate your knowledge and demonstrate your commitment to professional growth. Certifications are usually provided by reputable companies, such as Amazon, Google, Microsoft, and being certified by such a recognized organization can increase your credibility in the client eyes. And not only clients, your employer will also appreciate your time that you invested into the learning. But let's not forget about the importance of practical experience, because theory and certifications can only teach you so much. It's a practical experience that helps you grow as an architect. Whether it's a side project, a role in a company, or even open source contribution, as it was mentioned on another talk today, practical experience gives you insights and knowledge that no course or book can. Remember that there is no single path to become an architect. It's a combination of learning, certifications, and practical experience to carve your own path to become an architect. As we wrap up, I would like to leave you with a few parting thoughts. Building a career of an architect is similar to Mark's journey in The Martian. It's a journey filled with challenges, learning, and adaptation. Sometimes, technology landscape may feel as vast and intimidating as Martian surface. And at this moment, remember Mark's words. At some point, everything gonna go south on you. You either accept it or you can get to work. So keep learning, keep growing, and never lose your sense of curiosity. Thank you, and best luck on your journey. I believe we have time for questions, so if anybody would like to ask a question, please go ahead.
Any questions? Or maybe in speaker's corner during the next break.
Okay, so let's meet in the speaker's corner. I would be grateful to speak with anybody who wants. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And big applause for Vladyslav Plotnyk.
Challenge accepted, challenge accepted. The attitude is always challenge accepted.
Wonderful talk and great name.
Challenge accepted.